At the time of recording, the Columbus Blue Jackets have a 3-0 series lead on the President's Trophy winning Tampa Bay Lightning in the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. So what better time to revisit the Blue Jackets' peak? As sad as it is to say, this is the most successful the Blue Jackets have been since their inaugural season in 2000-2001. But today, we try to fix that. Today, we take over the expansion Blue Jackets and try to wheel and deal our way to a miracle, a first-year Cup victory. Shout out to YouTube's copyright system that basically made it not worth it to have this little intro be a little bit more intricate like previous intros, because I don't feel like dancing around the copyright system. So with that said, here we are, September 17th of 2000. The Columbus Blue Jackets ready to begin their first ever season. Now, if you're not aware of just how bad the inaugural Blue Jackets roster was, the Predators, even the Minnesota Wild, even though they did okay not that long after joining the league, it's pretty bad. There's a reason why Vegas had as good of a setup as they did to join the league, and of course that's as good of a setup, if not, Seattle might have a better setup than that. But there's a reason why they've kind of changed things to try and favor expansion franchises just a little bit more. This is our starting team. If you've watched an episode of Rewriting History, you've seen how good of a team we've been able to build from wheeling and dealing. This is not good by any stretch of the imagination. Steve Hines is the top player that we have to work with. Now, I love Steve Hines, former Bruin, but still coming off of a 25-point season the year before, it's just not good. And in terms of potential, you have Rusty Klesla. That's about it. That's about it in terms of who you have in the system. Tyler Sloan is the only unsigned player. It's a bit of a mess. There are some interesting names like Jeff Sanderson, Christophe Oliwa, David Viborny, and yeah, Kevin Dineen. For all you Panthers fans out there, it's a very rough start. So we're going to get right down to business. Now, the thing, of course, to do early on is to try and exploit the free agent list. Unfortunately, there aren't that many helpful players here. Marek Zidlichky, Alex Daig, and I don't know who this Janssen is. Jorgen Janssen, former Anaheim Duck. Now, in terms of potential, though, we are a little bit more lucky. Backstrom, Thomas, Mark Streit, Wade Dubielewicz. We have some players to work with at least. So we will obviously be going for Nick Backstrom. He will be our main piece, our main bartering piece here to try and pull off a trade to bring in a helpful player. I don't like my chances whatsoever of even making it out of the first round, but we'll see what we can do. But as I said at the top of this, what better time to revisit this challenge? It was requested previously, and with what the Lightning are pulling off right now, as ridiculous as that is, figured screw it, let's go for it, see if we can bring the Blue Jackets a little bit more success. But that is insane to think that the Blue Jackets have just now won 3 games in a single playoff series. Not to, continue to twist the knife for Blue Jackets fans, but it's been that bad throughout their history, as shocking as that is. Wade Dubielewicz, can you please? Oh my god, of course you don't like the supplementary role. Of course you don't. And of course you want more money. Of course you do. See if we can get that to go through. That should be fine. There we go. Bump up the money offer a little bit. Brings us up to 49 contracts. We will also sign Marek Zidlichky. That'll bring us up to 50. And we'll take it from there. Now, of course, the good thing here is that there is no salary cap to worry about. However, there is the internal cap. We have $14 million to work with, though, with free agents. I mean, thankfully, our player payroll isn't all that high. So we can bring in anybody that we want, that we can afford. $34 million budget. Certainly not the largest budget in the league by any stretch of the imagination. But we'll see what we can do. I might even take a quick look at the rosters because I know some people are going to care. But in terms of scouting out players, that'll be pretty much the time to look at it. As we do have a couple of players signed. Zidlichky has signed. Beautiful. I think he was the one I was most concerned about. Dubielewicz has signed as well. We're going to play the Tampa Bay Lightning here in the preseason. I don't really like our chances of success. Not enough goalies in the lineup, you say. Let's just go with the automatic setup there. So that's good. When, I don't know if you saw that for a second, we did have a top-line center who was listed as a goon until I reassigned that. That kind of sums up what we're dealing with here. We do have Ron Tugnut in goal, and he actually leads us to a victory over Kevin Weeks and the Tampa Bay Lightning. Go figure. Go figure. We played Tampa in the very first preseason game, and we walk away with a victory. Columbus is the kryptonite. That's the only way to describe it. Streit, Petri, Newmelin, and Jamie Pusher all need to have their numbers changed. So Streit, obviously, the only one to recently sign out of that group of players. Jamie Pusher, you can wear number 46. Sean Bourque was dealt to the Buffalo Sabres for a 4th-round pick. Not too bad. We play Atlanta today. Just to look at this lineup, Ray Ferraro, Andy Brunette. I mean, their lineup it's a little bit further ahead. Brunette, Ferraro, Audette, although Ferraro obviously is older at this point. Patrick Stefan. Still not a great roster at this point in time for this Thrashers team. They have Norm Maracle. At least I think that's how it was pronounced. Between the pipes, we end up in a 3-all draw in the preseason. How exciting. Tim Thomas and Nick Backstrom have signed, or at least, nope, Thomas hasn't confirmed. Come on, Tim, we need you to sign. Backstrom has signed, though, and that's a huge boost for us, as Ray Bourque ends up with an injury, as does Christian Berglund. Always fun. Tim Thomas, for the love of God, can you just sign? We need to start making moves here, man. Are you not seeing this roster? Come on. Playing the Carolina Hurricanes, Urbe between the pipes, and we lose our first game of the preseason. Not that big of a deal. And I think we're good. Tim Thomas should be on this roster. We should be fine. Indeed, he is. Beautiful. I think he actually accepted the other day. So I just realized that what I read earlier. So that was great. So the issue is we need help across the board, but ideally we're going to be able to find people who are relatively cheap. So you look at the Dallas Stars, and thankfully nobody's overly expensive. Mike Modano at Belfour, Sergei Zubov, the top 3. I'll go ahead and look through pretty much every team. Detroit, even someone like Lidstrom, Sergei Fedorov at a 5-star rating, not overly expensive. If you want to read everyone on the list, of course, just pause the video over that team. But Eric Brewer, Doug Waite, and Bill Guerin at Edmonton, not a great squad at that time. Florida Panthers have Pavel Bure, but he's 29 years old, and I guarantee injury-prone. Actually, not as injury-prone as I would have thought. Huh. A little bit of a comeback season for Mr. Bure. Roberto Luongo there as well. The LA Kings, led by Rob Blake, shortly before he was traded to the Avalanche. Actually, he would be traded to the Avalanche this season. Go on to win a cup. Oh, the Minnesota Wild. See, case in point. Like, they have Pascal Dupuis. They have Marian Gaborik. They'd end up signing Backstrom, of course. But when Arturi Laaksonen, or Antti Laaksonen, I'm sorry, Philip Kuba, Manny Fernandez, Wes Walls, and Sean O'Donnell. I love me some Sean O'Donnell. But when, like, those guys, Darby Hendrickson, Jim Dowd, like, when they're leading the way, you're in a little bit of trouble. Montreal with Koivu and Theodore. Trevor Linden as a Hab. Ugh. It's just not good. Nashville, again, not a horrible setup for them at this point, but still, you know, nothing great. Like Juan Timonen, Scott Walker, although he can kick rocks, and Cliff Ronning. Devils with Brodeur and Niedermeyer, of course, is the team that would pretty much, actually, I think outright. I'm not sure how many major changes they made. This was the defending Cup champion team that went on to lose to Colorado. The Islanders, oof, that's rough. It's like, hey, Chara's there. Yeah, don't worry. Milbury will trade him soon. Don't worry. The Rangers, Brian Leetch is still a monster. Theo Fleury, Mark Messier. The Sens with Marian Hossa and Alfredson. Chris Phillips isn't that bad. Philly with Recchi. Simone Gagne leading the way. Even the Coyotes aren't that bad. Dome, Kachuk, Hobby Bullen, Jeremy Roenick at only 30 years old. Danny Briere was there too. Pittsburgh with that beautiful, beautiful logo. Lemieux and Yager, both still there. San Jose with Nabokov, Marlowe, just 21 years old at this point. St. Louis with Pronger and McInnes, which is outrageous, even if McInnes is 37 years old. Tampa, led by LeCavalier, who was only 20 at this point. Brad Richards, also 20. The Leafs, led by Matt Sundin and Cujo. From there, Brian Berard, Thomas Caberlet. Vancouver, Matthias Ohlund is the top-rated player on that team. The Sedins were 19 years old. Washington with Ole the goalie. Gonchar and Adam Oates. Peter Bondra as well. Some decent names there. Anaheim have, of course, Solani and Correa. I'm not saying I want to rob that 1-2 punch away from them, but that would be pretty nice. Atlanta. Oh, God. Case in point. Ray Ferrara's 36. Andy Brunette, who wouldn't even be on the team for that long. Boston. Oh, I love this team. Oh, this team. Except for 39-year-old Paul Coffey. But Jonathan Girard, Brian Ralston, and the Sabres team. Love me the Sabres team as well. Doug Gilmour. That's just so weird to see Doug Gilmour there. Calgary with a young Jerome McGinley, 23 years old, absolutely killing it. Ron Francis and Rod Brindamore in Carolina. Tony Amonte leading the way for Chicago. The Avs are outrageous. Good Lord. And then that brings us back to lowly Columbus, where, I mean, you know, we lack some things and some stuff. So let's see what we can do here, shall we? I don't even know what the hell to target first. I mean, hilariously, going after Correa and Solani would be amazing. Anaheim fans, I'm sorry, but I think I have to do this. It's Teemu Solani and Paul Correa. How could I not? I'll give you Backstrom. I'll give you Tim Thomas. And I'll give you Dubielewicz. Still not enough. That's okay. We go to... Actually, I think I could take out Dubielewicz and just go draft picks. How close are we? Hey, that would be pretty nice. The AI so heavily values draft picks, so we'll see if we can get that to work. Sim this game. Joaquin Gage. Who the hell is that? Is he real? I mean, he must be if he's in the game. It's very rare to find a player that I don't recognize, even from this era. I have no idea who that guy is. Anaheim has accepted the trade. Teemu Solani and Paul Correa, welcome to Columbus. As ridiculous as that is, our ability to trade for another superstar or two might be a little bit limited. Atlanta, of course, really isn't going to have anybody. Boston with Joe Thornton. Now, that would be one hell of a center. Now, see, Anaheim fans, I'm gonna hurt myself just like I hurt you. We'll add Dubielewicz. We will add Mark Streit. And, oh boy, Rusty Klesla? Oh boy, I don't think they want to get rid of Jumbo. I don't blame them. Oh yeah, they don't want to move Thornton at all. So we'll go talk to somebody else. Take my business elsewhere. Buffalo. Well, you know, I mean, if you want a goaltender who can win you some games, I mean, there's still no chance in hell that this goes through, but damn it, it was worth a shot. That's all I'm saying. Calgary with a Ginla. I want to prioritize, I think, some top-notch defense above all else here. Not Urbe. Defense or a top-notch goaltender. Ron Francis. Ojelins wouldn't be too bad, but we need a true defensive leader. Blackhawks. Not the Blackhawks. What the hell? Bam. No. Back. Amani. Pretty sure it glitched out and didn't even show me this team. No, it did. Okay, that's really weird. I don't know what just happened. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I mean, getting Ray Bourque would be great, but let's be honest, I prefer him to win the cup. I don't think Patrick Waugh would help this situation either. Keep in mind, we're also in the Western Conference because that's just how things went back then. So keep that in mind. Can I get Ed Belfour? Yes, I can. That is nice. We'll use Dubielewicz. We'll use Streit. Or not. They're going to value the draft picks a little bit more, huh? So we'll use a second rounder and an 8th and a 9th and a 7th. There we go. So basically a goalie for the future, although he's 22 years old. For a goalie for the now, as we beat Atlanta 1-0. Norm Maracle still between the pipes. And we'll see Correa and Solani. Number 47, Paul Correa. And let's go number 88, Teemu Solani. Just to usher in that new era and make every single Ducks fan cringe. Boston and Vancouver in the preseason. We beat the Bruins 4-1. Not bad. And that trade goes through before we play the Canucks. So Ed Belfour is going to be the goaltender that we depend upon here. Is that the best move for us? You know, I'm not going to say it is. But I'm also not going to say it isn't. It's a real wait-and-see kind of deal. Sergei Gonchar. Sergei Gonchar. How would you like to be a Blue Jacket? What do you think? Straight in the 5th for Sergei Gonchar. I'm good with that if they are. Let's play Vancouver and see what we're dealing with here. It's a 4-1 loss. Felix Potvin leading the way. As Lyle Oderlane's been hurt. That is unfortunate. Fun fact, Ron Tugnut is shaping up to be our goalie right now. Even though he's a 1.5 stars. We will obviously correct that issue. We're going with the Eagle. And oh my god, it's always nice when people are getting hurt and you have no idea who the hell they are. That's always fun. A bunch of players need to clear waivers. I don't think I'm concerned about losing any of them. No offense. As Washington has accepted the deal, we'll take Sergei Gonchar. Season preview right now, Colorado, New Jersey, and Detroit are the favorites. St. Louis also up there. Lemieux, Yager, and Francis expected to lead the scoring race. Top defensemen are Lidstrom, Leach, and Pronger. Top goaltenders, Brodeur, Waugh, and Dominic Hasek. To the surprise, again, of absolutely nobody. So let's go ahead and see what we're dealing with here. So Gonchar is now in the top pairing with Matthias Timander. And obviously the team's already starting to look a little bit better. Just a little bit. In terms of the free agent center, we're still on 50 contracts. There are still some players that are half decent that we could sign, though. I don't think I'm allowed to cut contracts, am I? It'd be amazing if I could. So it's like Kevin Dahl. Can I buy you out, please? Oh, beautiful. I can buy out players right now. That's tremendous. So Bert Robertson. Let's buy you out as well. Hopefully my owner doesn't mind us just throwing money out the door. Jean-Luc Grandpierre will keep. Barry Moore. Goodbye. Jody Shelley. I mean, it's Jody Shelley, but still, you're gone. Sorry, Jody. Andre Neterost, you can stay. Matt Darsh can stay. Ted Drury. Ted Drury, go ahead and buy you out. Blake, very French. Go ahead and cut you. Bill Bowler. The alliteration, out of control. It couldn't be a William Bowler. Had to be a Billy Bowler. Reggie Savage, get off my team. And Brad Moran can stay for the moment. Jan Chaloun. Goodbye. Slivianov. Arrivederci. Kevin Dineen. Love you, but you're gone. Kent McDonald. My God, who even are you people? Play the Patrick meme. Let's see. Tom Pricing. Tommy Pricing, are you going to want more money? No? Yes? No? Meet demand. Ask for a response. See, I hate how the game does that. It really just needs to bump it up to what he's asking for. It's really weird how it does that. That was an issue last year, too. Hopefully they fix it soon. Jan Heda, who ended up being a Blue Jacket at one point in his career. Oh, my sweet goodness. Let's go ahead and change that as well. I still don't know how I'm going to get this team into a competitive state. Alex Daig, the Daigle. Go ahead and sign him up. Why not? He'll be a useful player for us. And Jorgen Janssen. Jorgen von Strangle. Sign him up as well. Wow, that only put us on... Wow, we bought out a lot of players, didn't we? Eric Perrin. Eric Perrin. Former member of the Tampa Bay Lightning, if I'm not mistaken. Yaroslav Halenka. Sign him up. Why not? What's the worst that could happen? Carl Pilar, I guess. Go ahead and sign him up too. And the last 2-star guy, Dmitry Bykov. Go ahead and sign him up too. That brings us up to 46. We do have some 1.5-star players, including the likes of Richard Park and some others, but we'll hold off for the moment. So let's see here. In terms of this lineup, Daig right now is our top center, so we desperately need a top center. I'm going to go to the bottom of the list, see who else we can find. So Washington, you're not going to have what we need. Adam Oates isn't bad, but I'm looking for somebody better. Vancouver, you don't have what we need. Matt Sundin. Matty boy. I could really use a player like you. And the Leafs could totally use a Tom Pricing. And a Rusty Klesla. And some draft picks, right? Please? Oh, baby. The first rounders are worth so much. So much. Let's see. Can I get this done without a first? I cannot. Okay, so it's gonna take a first round pick. Really? So can I get away with this without using Tom pricing? Because that's the thing. Like, they know it's gonna be a high pick, too. Can I use, like, Netarost in this deal? Really? Is there anybody else who's garbage that I can use? What about Selmser? Selmser. You'll still accept that. They just want the first round pick. That's it. What if I add a 7th? Alright. First round pick for Matt Sundin. I'll take it. Works for me. That would be outrageous, as we have news of 17,000 people signing contracts. And that's a decent little pick-me-up for the team. Alex Daig right now is technically our top center, even though Kevin Adams is on the top line. Oh, the numbers. Oh, the numbers. You get to wear number 40. You get to wear number 43. You get to wear number 44. You get to wear number 42. You can wear number 55. Jorgen von Strangle can wear number 45. Hooray! God, I wish there was a way to just auto-do that. Gardner is back from injury. He goes to our third line right wing spot. I have no idea who he is, though. Bruce Gardner. Cool. Bruce Gardner. And Numelin, number 39. There you go. Continue, or don't. Delete messages. Now continue. And there we go. Matt Sundin for a first. Can't tell me that's not realistic. What, you think the Leafs wouldn't make a dumb trade like that? Come on. Of course they would. So we're looking a hell of a lot better. Korea, Sundin, Solani. That's a little bit better. Sanderson, Adams, Hines, Janssen, Daig, Gardner. Okay, so the bottom six still needs work. The defense definitely needs work. Definitely. So if we look right now at our top defenseman, I mean, at least one more elite level guy. Yeah, actually, that's pretty much all we need is just one more elite level guy, and then from there, we're pretty well rounded. So let's take a look at, say, Tampa. We do have draft picks to work with still. Nobody's really going to help there. I mean, St. Louis has the one guy who comes to mind around this era in terms of like, hey, young elite defenseman. That'd be Chris Pronger. It's just whether or not we can get him. What if I use Klesla? And we just go draft picks from here. First is well balanced. What about a 4th? A 6th? Oh my god, if that goes through. Give me Chris Pronger or give me death. They say we play the Chicago Blackhawks with Robbie Tallis between the pipes. Former Bruin, if I'm not mistaken. And we get the 2-1 win at Belfour. Getting the job done. Also, our abbreviation is CBS. Let's change it to NBC. Oh, the CBS is fine. Fox News. Matt Sundin does get to wear the number 13. I wonder if I'm going to get, like, bopped for naming, like, companies. Probably. Controversial content. He said NBC, CBS, and Fox News. CNBC. ESPN Deportes. Dmitry Bykov, you can wear number 40. Have fun. And we shall play against the Los Angeles Kings. And we shall lose 6-3. Jesus. 41 shots to 39. Yikes. Please. Oh, thank God. Whew, Klesla. A 1st, 4th, and 6th for Chris Pronger. We're looking a little bit better. Who needs a future when you can build a winner? Pronger and Gonchar are leading the way. So the place where we need the most help now, goaltending. I mean, we're going to roll with Ed Belfour, and if worst case scenario happens, hopefully Ron Tugnut can make something happen for us. We still have Mark Denis and Frederick Chabot as the backups. So we're good there. Defensively, Tamander's at least 2-star, and we have a healthy 2-star. So forward-wise, that is where we need the most help. Doesn't matter if it's a center or a winger, although preferably a better right wing over Steve Heinz. But yeah, just in general, we need forward help. Let's go to right about here. Let's take a look at Nashville, because I'm trying not to pick from just the teams at the top at the bottom of the list, you know? So Legwand, you know, in fairness, Legwand, I don't know if I'd be able to get multiple players here, but Legwand, if Scott Walker's got to be a douche, he might as well be our douche, and Pelton. What if I just go for like the 3-person sweep from Nashville to bring in some depth? We use Tom pricing in the deal. We go over to draft picks. We use a 3rd. We use a second. Okay, this isn't going to happen. It's because they don't like... Teams often don't like to trade away more than one player at a time, I've noticed. So Nashville, you're not going to help us. New Jersey. The Jersey. Patrick Elias. I do love me some Patrick Elias, but I think we need to aim higher than that right now. Theo Fleury. Marian Hossa. Yes, please, Marian Hossa. We'll hopefully use Tom Pricing in the deal. I doubt this goes through, but damn it, we can try. Oh yeah, this is gonna be rough. Ooh, this is gonna be rough. Oh, this is gonna be rough. But it is still Marian Hossa. Oh my god, wow, okay. Do I have another prospect I can throw into the deal? What about Hayda? Alright, wow, Marian Hossa is basically impossible for me to get. That's crazy. Alright, never mind. So if Marian Hossa isn't going to work, what elite... Okay, in fairness, Mark Recchi should be cheap because of his age. I love you, Mark, and he'd still play for another 11 years. Winning the Cup with the Bruins in 2011. But still, it should be a little bit of a discount price for Mr. Recchi, and indeed it is. Maybe that is a decent way to handle it in terms of just going for older players who you know are going to be just a little bit cheaper but can still produce for us. That might be the best way to handle it. Bykov, Bykov, you can wear number 38. Chris Pronger can get his number 44. We play Calgary. Jerome McGinley and the Flames. Let's see, Fred Braithwaite between the pipes, which I think his name's misspelled. We end up losing 3-0, so clearly this team has yet to turn a corner, although the addition of Mark Recchi might help, as he is now our second-line center behind Solani. Not too bad. We still need some better forwards, though. No doubt about it. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at, say, Detroit, because we know that they'll have some half-decent players. And, I really am thinking about just going after the aging veterans. I mean, someone like a Steve Yzerman at this point. I mean, granted, it'd be kind of sad to take away Yzerman from this Red Wings team, but we should be able to pluck him away from the Red Wings. I feel like part of me just said the Islanders, and if that's the case, then boy, am I tired. And if not, and I'm imagining things, then boy, am I tired. I'm going to see if I can get Yzerman. I feel like that's my best opportunity right now, is to just try and take away aging players. Because right now, otherwise, I think we've kind of cashed out with our most valuable prospects, of course, that we signed in terms of that max value. I think, you know, Solani, Correa, Pronger, that's who we're dealing with. We did end up beating Colorado, though, which is shocking. So I'll take that, and Pronger gets hurt for 3 months. First game as a Blue Jacket, I think. He gets hurt for 3 months. So, anybody got a sharp object I can borrow? All right. Oh, boy. Turner Stevenson goes to the Islanders. Zach McCoyva's out for 5 weeks. So, yeah. I'm going to have to go out and get another defenseman now if I can afford to. We beat Chicago 5-3. Mark Recchi with a 3-point game. We do get Steve Yzerman, which is tremendous. But, I mean, damn. What defenseman are we going to look to get here? Let's talk to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, who do you got for me? Nobody overly helpful as far as who I can actually be able to acquire. Although, I mean, someone like Lemieux would be amazing. Nobody there. St. Louis again. I mean, trying to get Al McInnes from the Blues as well is a half-decent idea. That is not a bad plan. How long is Scott Young out for day to day? I know Pavel Dimitri's there, but Young is going to be able to be more easily acquired, along with McInnes because of their advanced age, we'll call it. So if I throw Pilar into the deal, we go over this way and just start throwing draft picks their way. How close can we get? The answer's not very. What if I take out Young? Yeah, so it's just because they don't want to pair multiple players together, but 2 seconds, a third, Pilar, and a fourth for Al McInnes. I'll take it. I'm doing what we got to do. I need a #1 defenseman after that injury to Pronger. That is a harmful incident. But now the center depth looks a lot better with Yzerman on that second line next to Mark Recchi. That's not too bad. Jamie Heward needs to have that number. Yzerman can wear the number 19. And we'll play Colorado again. They have David Abisher between the pipes, and we win 7-2. So not a great night for one David Abisher. And St. Louis has accepted that deal. So they give up their top 2 defensemen, but my God, have we set them up for life. Pretty much. Now it's going to be Gonchar and McInnes. And if I look at the defense, again, we should be okay in terms of depth. Our 6th defenseman, though, is a 1.5 because of the injury. Technically, though, it'll be Odeline. Actually, no, Pronger's still listed there. I need 1 more defenseman over 2 stars to round out that defense. Right. Let's see if we can find 1 more half-decent defenseman. No idea who that's going to be, what team they're going to come from. I look for 3-star or better, and hopefully have them be a little bit aging so that they're easier to acquire. Buffalo, nobody that we really want, although, hold on, Anaheim, yeah, they don't really have anybody. Atlanta, they don't really have anybody. Boston, I mean, they do have Don Sweeney and Paul Coffey, but they're not really that much better than the depth that we already have. So we'll hold off. The thing that prompted that thought was seeing Dave Andreychuk, who is day-to-day. He's a little bit sick, but that should be the type of cheap pickup that I need. So what if we use Darsh? That's well-balanced. And we'll use that 5th. Actually, in fairness, that might be too much. What about a 9th and an 8th? So we'll see if we can get Dave Andreychuk. Of course, we are almost out of draft picks here, so it's going to be down to the wire. Calgary. Do you have anybody that I need? Not really. Relatively young core. Let's take a look here at Carolina. So Ron Francis would be relatively cheap, but he's not necessarily what I need right now. But I can't help but think, what if we get Ron Francis? Because it's still Ron Francis. So we'll use Neterost on that deal. We'll go over this way. Wow, so they won't even accept for a 1st rounder, huh? Alright, well, Francis is out of the equation. Let's take a look here at Chicago. Tony Amani at 30. Probably not old enough. Quintal at 31. Still probably not ideal. I mean, Juan Sakic. Bourque is up there. Oh, God. You know what, Ray? How long are you out for? 1 to 2 weeks. You know what, though? It's Ray goddamn Bourque. The dream will always come true, in my mind. But for now, it's still Ray Bourque. And if I can get him, then we're golden. And they would easily accept a deal for him. Okay, maybe not easily. But even if I have to give up the 1st rounder, so be it. And it looks like I can get a slight pick, if not a little bit more than a slight pick back. So we'll add that 2nd. I'll throw in a 5th, and there we go. Hey, I'll take it. 1st round pick for Ray Bourque seems crazy, but damn it, it's Ray Bourque. How often can I trade for Ray Bourque in anything I do on this channel? Even if it means he's a Blue Jacket, so be it. We don't have to worry about taking away the moment because Colorado's not winning the Cup this year. We are. Silly. Pittsburgh. With Alban between the pipes. They win 4-1. Not ideal, and Colorado has accepted. So, Ray Bourque, welcome. As crazy as that is, we play Detroit tonight. We know Bourque will not be in the lineup, which is okay by me. We play the Red Wings against Manny Legacy. We lose 2-1, and already I hate my chances of trying to turn this team around. Buffalo's accepted that deal for Dave Andreychuk. Pittsburgh and Philly also made a deal. Nobody too major, moving back and forth there. So we'll take a look. So again, Bourque is currently hurt. Right now it's Correa, Sundin, Solani, Andreychuk, Yzerman, Recchi, Sanderson, Adams, Hines, which was going to be my top line. Janssen, Dag, and Espen Knudsen. Defense is Gonchar, McInnes, Pronger, and Bourque are currently out, of course, but T-Mander, Odeline, Kusera, and Zidlichki with Ed Belfour between the pipes. We are just about out of assets that we can flip. Just about. And ideally, we'd still find a little bit more forward help. So let's go... Again, Carolina didn't really help. Let's go to Dallas. Do the Dallas Stars have anybody aging, maybe a little bit older than a Mike Modano? Joe Nieuwendyk. You, sir, and Ted Donato. You two are perfect. Now, I might have to do separate deals, but still, technically, you're perfect. So I'll add Netarost, because it's not looking like I'm going to be able to trade him otherwise. I'll also add McDonald. Oh, that's beautiful. We're looking good. What if I also add Moran? And is there anybody else who has half-decent potential? Not really. And we go to draft picks. We go with that 7th and that 6th. Beautiful. If I can get Nieuwendyk and Donato for pretty much nothing, that's a decent depth pickup. Because Dmitry Bykov just doesn't know whether he's fucking coming or going. Dave Andrechuk and Ray Bourque get their numbers. We play San Jose tomorrow. Make that today. See what we can do. We get a nice 3-1 win over the Sharks. Kiprusoff before he was dealt to Calgary. Freddie Modine's going to be out for 4 months. Man, a lot of big injuries thus far. It's pretty crazy. Dallas accepts. Let's bring in Nieuwendyk and Ted Donato. Let's see what the roster's looking like now. That's a little bit better. So it's Donato, Nieuwendyk, Hines, Knutson, Adams, and Daig. Not bad. Jeff Sanderson at 2 stars is now a healthy scratch. But that's a logical move, actually. So if we wanted to bring in anybody else, it'd have to be about 2 stars. Technically, we do have... Well, I mean, with Sanderson scratched, there's quite a few 2-star guys we could look to move. But technically, we could drop a defenseman and have 2 forwards as a healthy scratch. I'm thinking one more move here. We have a 2nd, a 3rd, and a 5th to work with. No great players. But if we can find one more aging option at forward, we should be okay. And then we'll just go for it and see what happens. But it's fairly unlikely that we're going to find a high-quality player that fits that bill. Even like Luc Robitaille is 3-star. I think we could, we got to aim a little bit higher. Montreal doesn't have anybody that I'm interested in. New Jersey doesn't have anybody. Niedermeyer was only 27 at this point, too. New Jersey didn't have anybody. I mean, Theo Fleury at 32 might be that last half-decent option I was talking about. If we add... Let's go for, say, even Christophe Oliwa. And then we go towards draft pick territory. I think if I use somebody a little bit better than Oliwa, we'll be okay. Let's use Jamie Pusher. There we go. That's pretty much our last shout to make a deal here. Let's see if it works. We end up beating Washington 4-1. Nieuwendyk led the way. We do need to assign some numbers. I think Bykov is like glitched at this point. Ted Donato, you can wear the number 35. Jamie Heward gets the number 6. Nieuwendyk can wear not number 25, number 39. We play Detroit as well. Can we beat Osgood and the Red Wings? No, we cannot. We fall 3-2. And we'll see what's happening here. Quint improves on defense. Roenick hits 500 assists. Detroit and Vancouver. Wow, Osgood and Chelios were dealt to Vancouver. Brendan Morrison. Wow, that's a robbery there by the Red Wings. The Rangers have accepted. Theo Fleury, welcome aboard. You are the last piece of the puzzle. We have no draft picks left. This is pretty much the final thing that we could do, although part of me thinks that Fleury may have gotten hurt just before we acquired him. There's a decent chance of that. Oh, boy. Regardless, just double checking. I think we're good. I think that's pretty much the best we can do. Let's sim this game against LA. That's a nice 6-2 victory after, we lost to them the previous game. Al MacInnis also struggling with injuries. So, you know, there is a decent chance, as Mark Recchi won Player of the Month, there is a decent chance that we're going to be just a tad bit screwed because we're relying on some older players to help fill out the roster, and we could have some severe injury problems. But time will tell. We're 7-5 on November 1st. We are a month in. I will see you guys at the end of the season. We'll see how we do, and hope to God we're a playoff team. It took a while for us to catch on, but thankfully we finally did. We finished the regular season at 52-27-3, good for the second best record in the Western Conference, just 3 points behind the Los Angeles Kings. Of course, at this point, it was the top 8 teams in each conference making the playoffs, and of course it reseeds so that the division winner is ahead of whoever else. So New Jersey ends up being the 4th seed. Pittsburgh, shockingly, was the top team in the Eastern Conference. We'll sim forward a day. We are playing Nashville in the first round. So it's Phoenix and Los Angeles. We play, of course, Nashville, St. Louis and Colorado, Detroit and Dallas in the East, Florida, Pittsburgh, Ottawa, Carolina, Toronto, Boston, go figure, Washington, and New Jersey. So there is a chance, of course, of the ultimate rematch, Colorado and New Jersey. Let's see, though, how the team did this season. Of course, these are the star ratings we ended up with. Teemu Selanne is out, but only day to day, thankfully, in terms of any injuries. Steve Hines right now is the only one, but I believe he is good to be activated. So we're fine on that front, and indeed Selanne, I think, will end up taking a seat, but thankfully we have Theo Fleury, who is good to go. And Darren Quint actually being in the lineup, I think I'm okay with that. Let's see how the team did this season, shall we? Paul Kariya absolutely killed it. 108 points at 44 goals. Sundin with 87. Hit Al McInnes at 52. I mean, the points really dropped off. Our top line led the way. We had some decent depth, though. You know, Fleury and Yzerman were able to do Zidlichki and Bourque at 41 each. But you also notice the games played. We had just a little bit of trouble staying healthy. Recchi's hot start completely evaporated after that. But overall, still not too bad. And when you look at, say, the shooting percentages as well, nobody on the team is really that astronomically high up there. Recchi's shooting percentage was actually still pretty decently up there, despite the fact that he ended up struggling towards the back half of the season. And goalie-wise, Belfour managed to put up a .916 save percentage with a .211 GAA, which is really good for the time. Tugnut with 17 appearances and a .906. Not too bad. We'll see how everybody compares to the league-wide deal, although with Selanne, as you would expect, 99 points in 81 games. Absolutely outrageous. Teemu Selanne technically in a Blue Jackets jersey. It's just weird. Just weird. So stat-wise, let's take a look here. Lemieux led the way with 63 goals. Luc Robitaille was the only other person to break 50, although Paul Kariya was third with 44. Selanne tied for 5th with 41. Lemieux 132 points, led the league. Next highest was Kariya at 108. So again, Lemieux and Yager just absolutely killing it. Simply outrageous. And for goalie leaders, Ed Belfour led the way in wins, one of 3 goalies to hit 40 wins or more. Save percentage this time out was Patrick Waugh, though. So a little bit concerning, but again, Belfour wasn't that bad. But it was Waugh, Kolzig, Roman Turek, and Dwayne Rollison. Dupila actually put up a .929 as a half-star goaltender in 51 games to the Dallas Stars. Figure that one out. Figure that one out. So the good thing is, the trend of us making the playoffs in this series continues. You'd like to think it would, given the rosters that we are building. Again, you look at this team, we should be making the playoffs. Thankfully, we have. We leveraged our entire future for it. Let's take on the Nashville Predators in the first round. This is their team, and needless to say, we should be successful. They have some decent names, of course. Walker's there, Ronning, Jay Pandolfo, Randy Robitaille, Mark Mowers as 4th-line center. On defense, Kimmo Timonen, Hull, Strick Berhowski, Karl Skrastinch, Roy Fitzpatrick as well. But obviously not a tremendous team. Mike Dunham, though, between the pipes, could ruin things for us. Let's see what happens. We've had some mixed success, to put it lightly, to put it nicely, in the playoffs. Let's see what happens. Game 1 against Nashville is an 8-3 victory. Decent little start there. That's helpful. 61 shots to 19. A hat trick and a 4-point game for Korea, a 4-point game for Ray Bourque as well. That is an outrageous start to this series. And hopefully Teemu Selanne will be ready to go for Game 3 because he's not going to be ready to go for Game 2. Belfour and Dunham back at it again. This time it is only a 3-2 victory, but a victory nonetheless. 48 shots to 13. Theo Fleury, first star with a 2-point game as we head down to Nashville with a decent little series lead here. Selanne's still not 100%, so we're still not going to start him. Game 3 against the Preds is a 3-1 loss, so the home team has yet to lose in this series. Not nearly as dominant of a performance. Only 24 shots to 21. We end up falling 3-1. So not exactly a strong game from Belfour. We do get Selanne back for Game 4, which is huge. Although, are we allowed to activate him yet? Are we? No, he has to stay there for 3 days longer, so he will still be out for this next game. A crucial Game 4 against the Preds. Can they get back in the series and tie it up, or will we take a commanding 3-1 series lead? It is going to be a 3-1 series lead off the back of a 3-1 victory. 34 shots to 12. Absolutely outrageous. Ted Donato led the way, and we have a chance to close out this series right here and right now in Game 5 without Teemu Selanne. Can we do it? Yes, we can. 4-2 is the final, so Nashville gives us a scare in Game 3, but aside from that, it was smooth sailing. 55 shots to 29, a hat trick of assists for Theo Fleury, and we are on to round 2, where we get Teemu Selanne back. I feel like that might be a decent little factor into any success that we may have. But again, Korea, Sundin, Selanne, Donato, Yzerman, Fleury, Andreychuk, Nieuwendyk, and Recchi as the third line. It's crazy. Pronger, Bourque on defense. Gonchar, McInnes. Ridiculous. In round 2, we take on the Phoenix Coyotes. The Coyotes got past #1 seed Los Angeles in 6 games. St. Louis upset Colorado, and Dallas arguably upset the Detroit Red Wings. Over in the East, you have Toronto and Pittsburgh moving on. Both of those, I think you'd consider upsets. Not really. Not with Pittsburgh. Of course, I think Pittsburgh should be bad, but they're not because of Lemieux. You also have New Jersey and Carolina. So who knows? Maybe we'll see a rematch between New Jersey and Dallas, perhaps. No Buffalo. No Buffalo. Let's start this series, shall we? Against the Coyotes, it is Tkachuk, Roenick, Doan, Brad May, Danny Briere, and Claude Lemieux. Alato? I don't know who that is. Boyd Devereaux and Trevor Letowski, Emerson Smith, and Wilson. Yeah. Cool. Carney, Cullen, Buzik, and Newmanin. Oh my god, that defense. That's a rough defense. The goaltender is the Boulin Wall, however, and that could be a major factor against us not finding success. In the regular season, we lost 5-3, lost 4-3, lost 4-3, and then won 4-0. This could go either way. Game 1 goes to the Coyotes, 3-2 in overtime. Tkachuk with a 2-goal game. We had the advantage in shots, but ultimately it's Trevor Letowski, short-handed winner in overtime, to steal away Game 1, and I am getting extremely nervous over our chances to be successful here. We also have an injury to deal with. It's Joe Nieuwendyk. We won't know, what exactly ails him until probably after this game. Big-time Game 2, and a big-time bounce-back performance. 6-0 final, 30 shots to 11. Ray Bourque, Pronger, and Sanderson leading the way. 30 shots to just 11. It's amazing how inconsistent this team is. As we get to select the Hall of Fame nominee, you see the list of players there that have already been nominated. Who do we want to nominate out of this? LaFontaine, Middleton, McCrimmon, Bathgate, Lowe, Broughton, Randy Carlo, Carl Vodnia, Reed Larson, and Butch Goring. I got to be a Bruins homer. Rick Middleton. Game 3. As the series shifts to Arizona, can we get the win? Yes, we can. 8-3 is the final. 45 shots to 27. Zidlichki, Korea, and Pronger led the way. Ridiculous. They outscored us 3-2 in the first period. We scored 6 unanswered goals to take that game. and to take the lead in this series. Not a bad bounce back from a disappointing Game 1. Big time Game 4. Can we get that commanding 3-0 series lead? Yes, we can. 5-2 is your final. 46 shots at 22. Korea, Solani, Sundin. That top line got it done, as we did well, outscoring them 4-1 after we entered the second period. Exited the first period, tied at 1. And there's a chance that this series will end right here, right now, but it doesn't. 3-2 final in Game 5. The Coyotes hang on. 33 shots at 29. Roenick led the way. Did he get the winner? I'm guessing he did. He did. No, yeah, Landon Wilson. Yeah, Landon Wilson actually got it. Bourque with the late goal, but it wasn't enough. Damn. Game 6. Game 6. I don't think Nieuwendyk is going to be allowed to be taken off the injured list. Will he? Nope, 4 days longer. So Game 6 without Nieuwendyk. Can we end this series? We're going up against Patrick Durocher. No Boule and Wall here. This should be a victory. And it is. 5-1 is your final. Your Columbus Blue Jackets are going to the Western Conference Final as Al MacInnis, Paul Kariya, and Theo Fleury get the job done. We will be taking on the Dallas Stars in the conference final. On the other side, it's New Jersey and Pittsburgh, both of whom won their series in just 5 games. So it's a 4 seed against a 2 seed, a 4 seed against a 1 seed. We're taking on Dallas, who we made a pretty big trade with at the beginning of this season. Langenbrunner, Modano, Lettinen, Morrow, Van Allen, Grant Marshall, John Sim, Moran, who we traded to them, and Aaron Downey. I don't know who that is. Nico Kapanen and Ling. Defense is Hatcher, Zubov, Sador, Lukovic, Matvechuk, Sloan. That's not too bad. The goaltender is not Marty Turco. It's Wade Dubielewicz. And if we are to lose this series against a half-star goalie that I traded to them at the beginning of the season, then that is just justice, I would say. Game 1 goes to the Stars. 4-2 is the final. 32 shots at 28 in their favor, as Moran, who I'm pretty sure I dealt him for Nieuwendyk and Donato. It was a really good chance my trades with Dallas are going to come back to haunt me here, which is absolutely outrageous as we lose Game 1. Game 2 goes to the Jackets, though. 6-1 final. Much better performance there. 36 shots to 18. Paul Kariya, Marek Zidlichki, and Theo Fleury lead the way. So we at least avoid dropping both games at home to start the series. But as we go to Dallas, can we take Game 3? Yes, we can. 6-1. Another Game 1 scare, but we're bouncing back in a big-time way. 30 shots to 18. Kariya with a hat trick. Solani and Bourque also up there. 17,001 people in attendance. Game 4. Can we find ourselves with a commanding lead, for lack of a better term? No, we cannot. So this series is tied at 2 apiece. The Dallas Stars take it by the score 2-1. We outshot them 29-23, but it was not enough. The winning goal in the second period from Mike Modano. Modano gets the winner, and a very interesting Game 5 awaits us, as New Jersey awaits the winner. The Devils are going to the Cup final, as they did in real life, with a chance to defend their crown. But will they be taking on us or the Dallas Stars? Big time Game 5 goes to the Blue Jackets, 3-2 in overtime. Winning goal to Teemu Solani, his 5th of the postseason, and we are 1 win away from facing New Jersey for the Stanley Cup. Can we get the job done? Yes, we can. 5-2 over Dallas. And somehow, some way, despite the fact that we've had some bad luck in the playoffs, we are moving on. We will be taking on New Jersey in the Cup final. This team was good enough. We had to leverage every prospect and every pick to do it. But we are going to the Stanley Cup final. Pronger, Belfour, Solani, MacInnis, Sundin, Kariya, Bourque, Fleury, Recchi, Yzerman, Sergei Gonchar, and more, as we have a chance to get the job done. We take on New Jersey for the Stanley Cup. And again, it's Elias, Madden, Arnott, Danye, Gomez, and Sikora. Love me some Peter Sikora. Berglund, Bobby Holik, and I think that's Randy McKay. McKenzie, Eric Boganecki, and Bisek. The defense is Niedermeyer, Rafalski, Mitchell, White, Galanov, and Scott Stevens. The goaltender is not Martin Brodeur. What the hell happened to Brodeur? They're rolling with 2 half-star goalies, Bourque and Clemenson. And if I'm not mistaken, this guy in real life actually did really well and then fell off the face of the earth, unless I'm confusing him with somebody else. So we have a massive advantage. We'll have to see what happened to Brodeur. Well, let's do this. Game 1 to the Blue Jackets. 4-1. Shoulder inflammation for Brodeur. Marshall is also hurt, although I think Nieuwendyk is going to be out for this next game as well. But 44 shots to 21. Solani, Zidlichki, and McInnes led the way. We are 3 wins away from pulling off a miracle here and winning in our first ever season. Nieuwendyk is hurt yet again, as we suspected. Is not Patrick Waugh, we already, thankfully avoided Patrick Waugh. Is Martin Brodeur going to be 100%? And the answer is no. Brodeur, listed as day-to-day, was injured on May 20th, a week ago. There's a very good chance we can win the cup here without having to face Martin Brodeur. Bourque still between the pipes. Game 2 goes to the Blue Jackets, 4-1. We are 2 wins away from completing this challenge, as Solani, Correa, and Gonchar led the way, outshot him by 13, as the series will shift to New Jersey. Is Brodeur good to go? That is the question. I also want to check on this dude here. Yeah, well, at least in the AHL he was good. I know I've seen this dude's name before. Maybe not. Maybe it was after this? Huh. There's a goalie I'm thinking of who was great and then just disappeared. And it's not Jim Carrey, the net detective. Game 3 in New Jersey goes to the Devils. That is a major loss for us. 2-1 in overtime. 49 shots to 39, but the Devils win it. Boganecki was the first star, and it was Eric there who got the winning goal. That would explain it. The Devils are not out of the series, and if Martin Brodeur is back for this game, which he is not, they would have a great chance. We need to get this win right here and right now, and we do. 2-1 in overtime. Turnabout is fair play. Chris Pronger and Ed Belfour lead the way. They outshot us 32-27, but it was not enough. Pronger gets the winner, his 4th goal of the playoffs in overtime. We are 1 win away from the Stanley Cup in our first season here in Columbus. Hall of Fame vote. Oh man, there's some good names on this list. Middleton. Ooh, that's tough, Mike Gartner. That's really tough. Damn, that's a tough list. Let's go for Savard. And I'm going to go Dale Hawerchuk. Let's do that. Is Patrick Waugh... Not Patrick... Why do we keep saying Patrick Waugh? Is Martin Brodeur back? Because I keep thinking Colorado because of this year. Is Brodeur back? He is not. He is not. We are moments away. 1 win away from a Stanley Cup. Have the Blue Jackets won the Cup in year 1? No, they have not. We are going to Game 6. It's a 4-3 victory for the Devils. 32 shots to 28 in their favor. Gomez was the first star, winning goal of that game. A monstrous third period there for the Devils. Niedermeyer, Elias, Arnott, and Sikora all scoring to steal away the victory. We go to a decisive Game 6. I hope it proves to be, at least. Can we get this win? Playing with fire, letting them still be in this series. Let's see what happens. Brodeur is still AWOL. Ron Tugnut is going to be between the pipes. Game 6 goes to the Blue Jackets. 6-3 is your final. 44 shots to 11. Ray Bourque wins the cup anyway, but not as a member of the Avalanche, but as a member of the expansion Columbus Blue Jackets. I love it. Not really. That'd be so weird. Columbus, let this be motivation to you. Don't waste this opportunity. unless you end up playing the Bruins in the second round, in which case, please, for the love of God, waste this opportunity and at least be able to say, well, in real life, we made it out of the first round for the first time. Regardless of the challenge here was simple. Win it with the Blue Jackets. Of course, if you don't make this many trades, it's goddamn impossible. So still, we'll take what we can get. And again, it took us getting some absolutely ridiculous players. Ed Belfour leading the way. Getting Pronger, McInnes, Bourque, Gonchar on defense. And obviously the offense, Correa, Andrechuk, Donato, Sundin, Yzerman, Nieuwendyk, Solani, Fleury, Recchi. Yeah, it took just a little bit of work to get the job done, but we did just that. In terms of playoff stats, I want to take a look here. Who really led the way? It was Paul Correa, 32 points in 23 games. Teemu Solani, 27 points in 18 games. Just outrageous. Sundin was great. Bourque was amazing. Fleury was great. McInnes was great. Absolutely ridiculous. And if we take a look at the goaltending as well, it wasn't amazing from Belfour. Wasn't amazing from Tugnut either. But they both got the job done. The Columbus Blue Jackets. The Blue Jackets. Stanley Cup champions. Can you believe it? I kind of can't. We get the job done. Mission accomplished. And with some of the teams that we've failed with before, it is just a little bit more surprising than it normally would be. But for now, we're done here. We're out of here. I thank you guys very, very much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to leave behind any comments or whatever suggestions for what the next challenge is that we should partake in. Of course, I have a list of challenges we're going to get to eventually. But there you go. History has been changed. We have rewritten it. Matter of fact, we end up winning the Stanley Cup in our inaugural season and robbing the hockey world of its greatest moment in history by seeing Ray Bourque raise the cup. But technically, he got to raise it anyway, so it's fine.